Hello everyone, OP here, and in this video I will be giving my honest thoughts and opinions about the Elden Ring network test. Now I have played about 3 hours of this game, and while it is just a mere fraction of what the full game will include, I think the network test provides more than enough gameplay elements to justify reviewing for it. Before I begin, I would like to thank Bandai Namco for giving me the opportunity to experience the network test early on for review. This is Elden Ring. From first glance, Souls-like veterans will instantly recognize this style of gameplay from the likes of Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Sekiro, and the recently released Demon's Souls remake on the PS5. In the main menu, you have the options such as equipment, inventory, item crafting, status, messages, multiplayer, and system, also known as options. You can also perform gestures in the menu, as well as review your pouch. And in terms of equipment, you can equip up to 3 armaments, each on your left and right arm. And depending on which arm you decide the armament will be placed on, the action of that armament performs differently for each arm. You start off the network test with 2 consumables, the Flask of Crimson Tears, which restores your HP, and the Flask of Cerulean Tears, which restores your FP. When it comes to the inventory menu, you're able to view everything you're carrying. You can drop them on the ground, or throw them away. At the start, you are greeted with these items. FURLCALLING Fungal Remedy, which reveals cooperative and competitive summon signs. Tarnished Furled Finger. This creates cooperative multiplayer summon signs. DUELIST'S Furled Finger. This creates competitive summon signs. Tarnished Wizened Finger, which is used to write messages. Bloody Finger. This enables you to invade other players' worlds. White Cipher Ring. This grants you aid by a hunter when you're invaded. Blue Cipher Ring. This enables the wearer to answer calls for your rescue. TAUNTER'S Tongue. This helps in luring in invaders. Finger Severer, which sends you home. And finally, Vision of Grace. This returns you to the last sight, or Lost Grace, at the expense of losing all your runes. In this game, the bonfire is now known as Grace, and when touched, the Grace guides the player to the Tarnished and leads them to the correct way. There is also a map. The map serves as a way for you to check your current position and can be updated by finding map fragments at steals that you find in your journey. You can place beacons to help set reminders for where you want to go. You can of course pillage corpses to get items upon killing them, or finding items while you're traversing the land, such as thin animal bones or crafting material, or even new weapons and armor for you to advance through the game and make it a little easier on you. So that's why looting in a game like this is at the utmost importance. Summoning pools can be found in many areas throughout the game. You'll find it much easier to summon players when you're near a summoning pool, and upon touching it, you'll receive some items as well. When you die in Elden Ring, you will be revived at the last site of grace that you rested at. If you die again without collecting your items that you lost, which can be found at the exact same location that you died at, then the items will be lost forever. A feature that I absolutely adored as soon as I found it, especially effective on the PS5 as it utilizes the SSD, is how you're able to fast travel at any site of grace that you activated. Keep in mind though, some areas located in dungeons, for example, can't be fast traveled to, but in most cases, you're able to simply fast travel to any location on the map. Another amazing addition is the ability to jump, making traversal much more convenient than before, and gives the player options to strike attacks and protect themselves from enemy attacks.
Greetings, traveler from beyond the fog.
Upon resting at a grave site, you're greeted with 5 options: pass time, access flags, memorize your spells, sword chest, which is basically the items that you leave in the chest in order not to lose them upon death, and ashes of war, which grants affinities to your armament at sites of grace. By adding an affinity, you can boost the attribute for scaling for each weapon. Although keep in mind, some unique armaments cannot be granted new skills or affinities. One of the first mini-bosses that you fight in the network test is the Tree's Sentinel. And he's pretty difficult to deal with, but after some experimenting, aka dying several times, you're able to take him down easily. In terms of your flasks, you can actually decide how many HP flasks or FP flasks you want to use. For example, if you want more healing, then you need to sacrifice your FP, and you have 3 HP flasks but only 1 FP, instead of 2 for each. You're then greeted by a merchant that sells you items for the exchange of runes. Of course, each merchant that you encounter sells different items, and you also have the option to sell items as well to each of them. After you defeat a vanquishing enemy group, your flask will automatically replenish, but the number and type of flask to be replenished varies depending on the enemy group you're fighting against. Another very neat feature that will be found useful by many is the ability to collect items while on horseback. This allows the player to save time by not getting off the horse every time you want to collect an item, and will especially give ease of mind to the collectors or the completionists. While we're talking about cool features, another fine detail is how each enemy is able to hit and hurt other enemies by accident, allowing you to survive in lucky situations. While on horseback, you're able to Spirit Spring jump, which allows you to jump high in the air for ease of traversal. You won't take any damage landing after Spirit Spring jumping, so don't worry about that. Now let's talk about my favorite part of the network test. Keep in mind that I have only played 3 hours of this game, but I can tell that I'm going to be spending mindless hours traversing through this land. From spirit jellyfishes to giant brick enemies to beautifully crafted mini-bosses and insanely vivid and mesmerizing open world, I would confidently say that Elden Ring proves to be everything I wanted and more. Thank you so much for watching this review. If you feel like it, you can leave me a like, as it will help with the YouTube algorithm. You can also subscribe to the channel as I upload videos every single day, from 4K gameplay videos of titles that you might have forgot about or never heard of, and more content around the topic of games. That's all from me now. Take care.